Right, so welcome back, guys, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today, we're talking about the news regarding the 100 getting a spin-off series in the near future. So if the 100 is something you're interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That would miss more 100 videos from me moving forward. Now let's begin. So like I said, it's been announced recently that the hit CW show, The 100, has been optioned or possibly in development of a spin-off series. Now, this is a very interesting and exciting news at the same time, depending on who you're asking. Honestly, right now, I'm kind of curious to see what they do here. Honestly, I'm kind of done with the 100 after season 6. If it wasn't for the fact that season 7 would be the last season, I probably wouldn't watch it, but since it's the last one, I'm going to check it out and see how it ends. But in recent years, I've kind of been disappointed with how they've handled the 100. It started off strong, but in recent years, it's kind of gone down the toilet. But this spin-off news is very interesting. Now, from reports we got, it's going to take place, I think, like 97 years prior to the beginning of the show. So roughly around, when the apocalypse first happened, the first one. So that's very interesting and exciting news in of itself. Now, there are two possibilities that they could do here. They could do the formation of the Ark storyline, or they could do the foundation of the Grounders. Now, I think most fans want to know the formation of the Grounders and their civilization. Personally, I could go either way. I think the forming of the Ark and all that would be cool. But at the same time, I know fans want to see the Grounder story, so I could easily see them going in that direction. Now, as of right now, we know that season 7 somehow is going to have like this backdoor pilot episode leading into this new series, which is odd. I don't know. It doesn't make sense how they're going to do this. I know there's talk about how the anomaly causes like time travel stuff, which I'm not a big fan of. That kind of is what annoyed me more with the show, is like, I hate when they put in time travel stuff in this kind of show. It just, I don't know, I just don't like it. But apparently that's going to be happening in season 7. Now, if we go down the route of this being the Grounders, for the formation of the Grounder story, this could be very interesting. How they formed, we could learn more about the tree crew as Geta and all the other ones, maybe even throw in the Mountain Men and see how their kind of war with the Grounders happened. That'd be an even interesting story, even though we know they can't go above ground because of the radiation. We could still see maybe in like the first season, maybe some of them are still above ground before they go into the bunker. But because I think that'd be an interesting storyline to see play out. Again, we don't know how it end up going about in this show, but I think that'd be interesting to see. Now, we know again that this could possibly be, like I said, the formation of the Grounders. So we'd see Becca. Maybe we'd see the guy who started the Second Dawn bunker. Maybe there's like two fractions of people there who fight for control, Becca and the guy from the Second Dawn bunker. That'd be an interesting storyline as well. We know Becca dies at his hands, so maybe he kind of kills her, and that's how the formation of, the Grounder civilization came from him. Now, another thing I'm interested to see play out is it only took 97 years to reform into, these different clans and form this all new language. Now, that's the one thing I'm curious about, because I do not believe that in 97 years, that's enough time to form an entirely new language separate from the English language. To me, that's unrealistic, so I'm curious to see how they would implement that in this kind of show. So that's something I think would be very interesting to see play out. Now, like I said, if we do get the Grounder story, I think what they could do is each season, depending on how long it goes, each season could be the reign of a different commander. We know there's been multiple different commanders, so I think like we could see each season be the story of a different commander, depending on how many they were. But I think that'd be an interesting storyline in a way where each season is its own like anthology season where you don't have to follow a certain timeline, but you still do to an extent. So I think that'd be an interesting way to put the story together and weave it all through in each season. So we could start off season 1 with Becca and the guy from the Second Dawn bunker. Then you move into season 2, you got the next commander after that. The next season you get the next commander after that. Then you lead into the final season where you get the introduction or reintroduction to Lexa. Now, the reason I go with this is we know Alicia Denham Carey is still on Fear. Whether you're a fan of Fear the Walking Dead or a fan of her, I think we all know Fear kind of is not in a good place right now. So that could cause them to either cancel the show, merge the show, which I don't believe either of those things will happen because Fear's still still making AMC money, so they're not going to cancel it just yet. So that's why I say they could follow each Grounder storyline and then get to Lexa later on, giving Alicia Denham Carey enough time to finish up with Fear and then come over to this show. Now, another thing that fans want is the story of Lexa. Now, I know the Lexa fans don't want Jason anywhere near that. Unfortunately, you're going to have to suck it up because he's not going anywhere. He's the creator of the show. If you're a Lexa fan and you want to see her story about Jason, you're out of luck because that is 100% never going to happen. And I can guarantee you that. So, either way, they're going to have him involved. And if they do the story of Lexa, he will also be involved. So, that's how that's going to go. It's not going to happen. They're not going to bring her back to life or anything. She'd still die at the end. But I think it'd still be a way to bring both stories together and give it a good prequel series. Now, another possibility I think they could do is both this story and the Ark story go on at the same time, with each season again following a different Chancellor. Now, again, we could go either way. I don't know. I'm curious to see what you think if you watch the show, if you're still into the show. Which one would you rather see? Would you want to see the Grounder origins, or would you rather see the origins of the Ark? In a way, we kind of saw both already, so this would just be expanding on those origin stories. But I think it definitely be an interesting way, because we'd also see like the politics of the different Grounder clans, like Asgera, Tree Crew, and all the rest of them. Maybe even see why like Luna took her people out into the ocean instead of staying on land. There's so many different possibilities that they could do here. And I think going back to the Lexa story arc, we know she became commander at a very young age. I think it was like 12 or something. So if they do that story of Lexa, they could easily hire a younger actress to play her in her younger years during the first few seasons. Then once it gets to the time where it needs to be Alicia Denham Carey's role, that way we can have Alicia finish up Fear and then come over after those first few seasons of the spinoff, allowing ADC to continue on with Fear as long as that, forever how long that goes, and then come over to this new spinoff. Because I think either way they're gonna have issues with Alicia Denham Carey, because I think AMC has like rules where like you can't be on the same show if you're a leading character or something like that. And plus, I think The 100 and Fear film in like completely opposite areas of the country, so I think that would also cause issues. So I think right now, they'd have to go through different ways to keep Alicia Denham Carey to not be in the show just yet, but bring her on later on in the series. But either way, I'm curious to see what they do with the show and what storylines they will have in the show, who will be in the show. One thing I think they need to do, and I don't know how this will work because it's almost 100 years prior to this show beginning, is I feel like they need to have some kind of characters connected to this main show, like the ancestors of someone. And I feel like even though fans like Becca, and if she's the leading character for the first couple of seasons or whatever, it's still not enough to hold the show together. You need some kind of connection, that little thread that will keep this show connected to the main show and keep fans interested. Because if you don't have that thread, fans won't be interested and it'll just be some other random show. So I think you need to have some kind of connection, a character or something. Even the setting, that doesn't really do much because it's just, oh, look, it's a familiar place. You need to have some kind of character connected. And I don't think Becca has that fan base or a strong enough character to keep that connection going. So I think somehow they're going to have to like introduce like an ancestor, like someone who's the ancestor of like Clark or Bellamy, Jaha, one of those people, Kane. You need to have like an ancestor of one of them to keep the show going, because I think you need that connection for fans to connect with the show. Even if it's like a relative or some kind of bloodline of Lexa, they could even do that. But I'm curious to see how they handle this because, again, I feel like the 100, while it's ending, I feel like the CW is trying to milk this show. If you want an honest opinion, I think the 100 is probably one of the few successful shows that the CW has done outside of like the superhero movies. So I think they're trying to milk it similar to how AMC's milking The Walking Dead. So I think they're trying to hold on to it. I feel like the 100 is slowly dying though. And I know fans will probably disagree with me on this, but I feel like the 100 kind of has not been this show out there. People will say it's better than The Walking Dead. I will argue and fight you to the no end because I do not believe it. I still will say The Walking Dead is 10 times better than The 100, and the 100 should be an example of what not to do to The Walking Dead, similar to what they're doing with the new Walking Dead spinoff. It should not be following anything like what they did with The 100. Now, again, but going back to the 100, it's dying, I feel like, and they want to hold on to and preserve the show for a little bit longer, even though it's ending. So I feel like this is their idea. Give the fans a spinoff, give them a story they want, most likely the Grounders or Lexa, and it'll keep fans coming and keep fans interested in the series, which in a way it could work, but at the same rate it could backfire on them since fans don't want Jason anywhere near the Lexa story. So it could backfire on them. But again, either way, I think they'll have a show that will kind of be a hit, at least for the first few seasons, and then it'll probably drop off. And again, if fans aren't happy about Jason writing Alexa story, I'm afraid you're going to be more annoyed and have to suck it up because it's going to happen. Your protests, whatever you're going to do, ain't going to work. The CW don't really care about their fans, nor does any other network or anything. As long as the show's making them money, they'll be happy, and they don't really care what the fans have to say, because either way, they'll be making money, and that's all they really care about. So, leave your thoughts and opinions about this spinoff. What would you rather see? What are your thoughts and opinions? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Leave all that stuff in the comment section down below. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts and opinions regarding the Hundreds spin-off series coming out soon. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That would miss more 100 content from me moving forward. And you can go follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which are linked in the About section of this YouTube channel. As always, this has been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.